most of them. They were taken away in handcuffs, they were put into detention centres, they were ripped away from their families, they couldn't even get their belongings. We don't believe actually that Byron paid them any holiday pay that was owed to them, or any wages, or any sick pay, or any redundancy that was owed to them. Byron hasn't said anything about that at all. We have got some statements we want to read out from some of the witnesses and some of the workers, but I need some help to do that. So can some of the people who've been involved in organising this demo today come to me? That they had a meeting at 9:30 a.m. on the Monday morning, and the front of house team were at 3:30. This wasn't abnormal, and nobody thought anything of it. I arrived for work at 10:30 a.m. to open the restaurant as a waiter. I was welcomed by about 15 immigration officers talking to my colleagues. They actually were treated well, although I did hear one say, "I can't wait for the waiters to come in." My best friend was one of the ones he was referring to. So I can pounce on them.
Shameful, right?
This is an immigration officer saying he couldn't wait to pounce on a waiter. This absolutely disgusted me, as if he wasn't a person. I realised that what was actually happening after about 10 minutes of being there, and I got really upset, and I told the area manager that the area manager told me to start opening the restaurant. I tried, but was having, I think, a mild panic attack, as was histrionically crying by this point, sad about what was happening to my friends who were being spoken to by immigration, and worried about my best friend, who luckily wasn't there in that whole time. I was so appalled that the area manager, directors, and all those at head office would do this to these guys, all to avoid a fine because they didn't have the proper procedure in place to check their ID in the first place. They were fed to the lions.
We need everyone to show solidarity, otherwise we're fragmented. And I think this is what the Conservative Party is doing at the moment. They're picking off people individually, because we've seen like so much fragmentation in the Labour Party as well. So we need to stick behind Jeremy Corbyn as well. We need to show that we will not tolerate these abuses of Byron. I mean, there's a way of communicating. To communicate, you have to be honest and to be kind at the same time. And I don't think Byron have been either of those things. I don't think they've been honest or kind. So we need to stick together and all work together and exercise that like Eva does, organising meetings. Thank you.
And by the way, this is from the London Latiques, and it is, how do you like your burger without deportation? Is that okay? How do you like your burger without deportation? How do you like your burger without deportation? Hello everyone, I'm a waitress. I'm basically part of the Unite Hotel Workers branch, and every day I see this kind of like super exploitation of migrant workers. In the place I worked at, they did the same thing. They rounded up loads of workers, many kitchen staff, and they basically handed them into the police. Many were arrested, put into detention centres. This is really shame. But I'm gonna read out a statement from someone who used to work at Byron and left in disgust. Okay. I was appalled by the news concerning Byron Hamburger's immigration raid last week. Having worked there for a year and a half, I met many international members of staff that worked hard, 50 to 70 hours a week, were loyal to the company and were overall really nice people. What Byron did is outrageous and shameful, but it didn't surprise me.
What follows is an account of another exploitative and unethical situation that led to my resignation last year, and that makes my blood boil whenever I think about it, especially now. Hire people with as little rights as possible, exploit them as hard as you can, then deport them in the crudest manner possible. On the 6th of October 2015, Byron decided to embark on the charitable campaign One Feeds Two, where they sold every burger for 25 pence to everyone that became a member of the Byron Burger Club. They claimed that all earnings would go to their charity, whose raison d'etre is to support children in some of the poorest countries in the world by providing a nutritious school meal so they won't go hungry. How so fucking nice of you, Byron. Thousands and thousands of people turned outside Byron restaurant throughout the UK that day. The queuing extended several blocks from early hours in the morning till way past midnight. What this meant for the working staff, 13 hours or more, shifts of exhausting non-stop work, not being able to have lunch or a break in all the duration of the shift, being yelled at by my manager to the point of being reduced to tears and not receiving any tips or any other form of retribution during the whole day, despite having worked as hard as any other day as a Byron employee. People paying for their meals with 50p coins and not leaving anything for us, when our sweat, stress and in my case tears were visible for all to see. I never felt so humiliated in my life.
Because it's the law, these people shouldn't be employed. It's quite simple really. The law doesn't say rally your workers in a building under a fake training and lock the doors and call immigration enforcement. The law doesn't actually say that. So that's a really simple, easy answer. Next time someone says, isn't that the law? The other thing is when people say, but isn't that the law? I think it's also important to remember that some laws need to be changed, and the Immigration Act needs to be changed, right? Was put in place when Theresa May decided that they needed to create what she called a hostile environment for so-called illegal migrants. It doesn't mean anything. No one is illegal. Legally, it's not a word. It's not a thing. No one is illegal. That hostile environment means that it's almost impossible for people to work. It's almost impossible for people to rent, go to the doctors, and just live a decent, dignified lives with that new Immigration Act. And I think that that's something that we need to talk about, because it might be legal, what happened in Byron might be legal, it doesn't make it right.
Stop deportation!